Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, I'm Diva Savira Adiyanti and I'm from 5TI1 class. So today I want to share with you a project I worked on for my English education program at Mataram University. It's about English syntax. So let's start with what syntax really means. Okay, so syntax is like how we arrange words and phrases in a certain order so that our sentences are easy to understand and correct. It's not just random words thrown together, you know. Every language has its own system or set of rules to put words in the right order so that people can get the message clearly. Without syntax, sentences would be a big mess and nobody would understand each other. Now, syntax also shows us that every word in a sentence has an important role or a job. Like some words tells us who or what the sentence is about. Those are called subjects. Others tells us what action is happening is the verbs. And then some words add more details to the sentence. So when all these words are arranged properly, it makes a sentence that actually makes sense. You can think of syntax as a puzzle where every piece has to fit perfectly, so the picture or sentence is clear and easy to get. Another super important thing about syntax is that it helps communication be clear. When we use correct sentence structures, people don't get confused when we speak or write. If we don't follow syntax rules, even simple sentences can become unclear or just plain wrong. This is why syntax is very important in speaking and writing. Also, syntax is part of grammar because it gives language structure and balance. It helps us see how subjects, verbs, objects, and other parts connect to build full sentences. If we learn syntax well, we can make sentences that sound right and are easy to understand. This also helps when we read or listen because we start to know how sentences are made and what they mean. Knowing syntax really makes us better speakers, writers, readers, and listeners. So basically, syntax is about putting words together to build sentences that follow rules to make sense. It keeps language clear, organized, and natural, so it's not just about grammar rules, but how words join to share ideas clearly. Without syntax, language would be confusing and hard to use. You can think of syntax as the heart of language because it keeps everything it keeps everything working smoothly so we can understand and talk to each other. Now, syntax has some important parts that help us see how sentences are built in any language. These parts explain the rules that make sentences correct and easy to understand. Let's talk about three main parts. So the first, hierarchy, means a sentence is not just a list of words in a row. Instead, words group together in smaller units called phrases, and then these phrases join to make a whole sentence. Each part has its job and place inside the sentence. For example, Captain Jack Sparrow smiles proudly. Here, Captain Jack Sparrow is a noun phrase because it names a person, and smiles proudly is a verb phrase telling the action. So sentences are built step by step by putting small parts together into one full meaning. Second, recursion means inside a sentence, so you can have another sentence or phrase, and inside that one, another one, and it can keep going. This lets sentences be longer and give more details. For example, Will believes that Jack knows that the treasure is hidden. See? One sentence inside another. This makes language rich and let us create many different sentences from just a few words. Third, structure dependence means that making sentences depends on the sentence structure, not just the order of words. When we change a sentence or make questions, we do it based on the sentence's building, not just by moving words randomly. For example, Jack is sailing the Black Pearl becomes is Jack sailing the Black Pearl? So we move is because of the sentence's structure. This shows syntax depends on sentence structure, helping sentences follow grammar rules and be easy to understand. Okay, now on grammatical and lexical categories. This part talks about how words are categorized or grouped based on their forms, places in sentences, and meanings. Let's say we take a sentence from the movie Pirates of the Caribbean. This is the fastest ship. This is the fastest ship in the Caribbean. Each word has its own job here. This is a pronoun that shows which ship we mean. Is a verb telling what is happening. The is an article making the noun clear. Fastest is an adjective describing the ship. Ship is a noun, the main thing the sentence talks about. And in the Caribbean tells us where the ship is. All these parts work together so we understand the sentence clearly. We can look at these words in three ways. The first is morphological, means looking at word forms and how they change by adding small parts like prefixes or suffixes. For example, fastest comes from fast plus is, which makes it superlative, meaning the most fast. Morphology helps us understand how words fit in sentences by their forms. Syntactic or distributional categorization looks at where words are placed in a sentence and their relationships. Like in our example, this is the subject, is the verb, and in the Caribbean is a phrase showing place. So syntax explains why words comes first or last and how they connect to give clear meaning. Semantic categorization focuses on meanings and what words and sentences actually mean. Like ship means a boat and fastest means highest speed. Semantics helps us get the idea behind the sentence beyond grammar. Next up, phrases and constituents. In sentences, parts grouped together as phrases or chunks. For example, the sentence I'm Captain Jack Sparrow, the original, the only, has three parts. I'm Captain Jack Sparrow is a small sentence with a subject and verb, and the original and the only are adjective phrases adding extra description. We also use constituency tests to check which words belong together as a chunk or a phrase. One test is substitution. If you can replace or a group of words with a single word and the sentence still sounds good, that group is a phrase. Like, you love birds can be replaced with you in you love birds, run along and have a good time. And it still works. Another test is movement. Moving a group of words around to see if the sentence is still okay. Like moving have a good time to the start of the sentence still sounds fine. Coordination tests joins two chunks with and like run along and have a good time. Shows both parts are phrases that belong together. Finally, some reflections from me is this project helped me see that syntax is like a rule book for putting words together in the right order to make sentences that make sense. Sentences are like puzzles where every piece has a place and job. Learning about phrases and constituency tasks was a challenge, especially moving parts around and using coordination, but it made me realize how flexible and organized language can be. So, analyzing syntax helps us understand the deeper connections between words and how sentences work, making it easier to learn English or any language. So it's not just about knowing vocabulary, but knowing how to join words to share clear ideas. So yeah, that's all from me about syntax. So I hope this explanation helps you understand why syntax is so important for speaking, writing, reading, and listening clearly. So thanks for all listening. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.